Seriously, I could spend 3 hours just talking gypsy life.
He's an interesting guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Eric is an interesting dude. Like we talked about it during the episode. I've known him for 30 years. So I knew him through some of the dark phases, and to see him doing well when we ran across each other at the pizza joint, it was a really pleasant surprise because I knew where his life had gone for a while, and I didn't expect him, this is going to sound really shitty, but I didn't really expect him to be much different than the other people from the neighborhood that had been in a lot of trouble. And when I ran into him at the pizza joint and we got to sit down and visit and I got to hear where his life had gone, I was super proud of him. And we had some more in-depth conversations as adults that you obviously don't have in high school. And a lot of life had happened in the amount of time it had been since we'd been around each other. As he opened up, about his life, the more interesting he became as a person. That he'd gone through some of the lowest things that a person could experience and had kind of started to put together a life that everybody tries to put together and had endured everything in between. And interestingly, when you read his bio, one of you made the comment, if he was willing to talk about this, how bad was the stuff that he wouldn't talk about?
Oh, yeah.
He actually brought that up on the way out. He's like, I guarantee you your buddies are going to ask you if he was willing to talk about the things he talked about, how bad was the stuff that he said was off limits.
Oh, man. I can't even imagine.
I said, yeah, that actually did get brought up.
Yeah.
And he said it was as bad as you could imagine.
Yeah.
Why was it off limits to talk about? And even to this point, he's still looking out for people.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean,
it's just who he is.
Yeah. And that gypsy culture.
He said there's people who didn't deserve to have their feelings hurt that would get their feelings hurt by hearing some of the stories, and he wasn't going to do that to them.
Yeah, he's a stand-up guy.
He's a stand-up as they get. I love Eric like a brother. Like I said during the episode, we don't, we're not getting together and hanging out and barbecuing all the time, but I know Eric is one who would have my back if I ever needed it. There would be no questions asked. I've got a ton of respect for Eric, and somebody will listen to that and think to themselves, it's going to be all right. I don't know how you could listen to the things that he's gone through and hear him say if he could talk to his 15-year-old self, he'd tell himself it's going to be all right.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has to be able to listen to that and tell themselves it's going to be all right.
Yeah, it might be the dark night of their soul.
Yeah.
It might be them just one step away from their breakthrough, but it's going to be all right.
That's the thing to take away from it.
100%.
I got my first jiu-jitsu injury last night.
What'd you do?
Broke my pinky. Yeah.
How'd that happen?
That new kid, Trent, is that his name?
Oh, shit.
The one that's always like, I don't like wearing a fucking gi.
Was he the one that was talking about doing trend at
steroids?
16
Yeah,
years old?
16-year-old kid?
17-year-old kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, good for him.
We were in a little scramble, and my hand brushed across some part of him. I think it hit him on the leg or something. I heard it. Yeah.
Was he wearing a gi?
Yeah.
Oh.
We finished the round and pretty clearly broken. Taped it up. It's good.
You know me. I've been nursing this right-handed pinky for 6 months now. I'll break it. It'll kind of heal back, and then it'll break again.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Liam came back last night, too.
Good.
Yeah. Got the first compliment, not the first compliment I've had in jiu-jitsu, but the first compliment of this nature that I've had in jiu-jitsu. got done rolling with Lee, which I mollywopped him like pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the progression since he left, was pretty evident. But when we got done, he's like, "You're so fucking fast." Never heard that before.
Well, you have.
Yeah, I was going to say, hold
Definitely
on.
have heard that.
Yeah, well, it was low hanging fruit. But yeah, you're so fast. No big deal.
And you move well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't have a belly anymore.
yeah, I know. So that's cool.
Pants are just hanging off of you.
Yeah, I got to get new gi
I'll have
pants.
to take you to Tractor Supply and get you some new jeans or something.
No, I got new jeans.
Probably need to
It's not time for more
size
new
down
jeans
again.
yet. No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Maybe another month.
I took me like a 15-minute nap. I came home and sit there and I was like, Chloe's like, I was like, we're going to podcast tonight. I just need like a nap to reset here. It's normally Monday. Kind of have my weekend and like I go to work and it's whatever, work for a few hours and then end up here and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to do this today. I'm like, Jesus, this has been a long week already.
It has. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for tomorrow.
Ready for the weekend for sure.
Yep. So we're gonna kick this thing off, or
Yeah, buddy.
what are we doing?
Yeah.
We need to do any practicing or EQing with him, or we're
Nope.
just ready to go?
We're just ready to go.
All right, so I'll just kick it off and intro him here.
Go for it, pal.
This is Eric Rickey. I've known Eric since we were in 6th grade. Eric's first words to me I will save until later in the podcast. We were children. And it was quite an awkward introduction. Shocking, actually. And it'll come up later. But Eric's lived a life that hopefully very few people, ever have to experience, the things that Eric's gone through in his life. We lost touch for, 27 some years. I mean, like,
long time.
Yeah. Did you graduate from Joplin, or did
No, I did
you
not
dropped
graduate,
out? Right. Yeah. So you left high school before we graduated, and then we didn't see each other until you bought the pizza
Until I
joint.
bought the pizza joint.
Yeah. So for the sake of easy math, just call it 30 years.
Pretty close to it.
Yeah. And saw him at the pizza joint that I used to go eat at that pizza spot all the time, and I was like, that's fucking Eric Rickey. Which we were kind of friends, when we were young, like, but we did never like hang out, but we always got along for the most part. And I was like, that's fucking Eric. So I hollered at you. I was like, you came over and kind of looked at me like puzzled. And I was like, Eric Rickey? You're like, yeah, why? And I was like, Matt Walker. And he immediately like lit up with a big smile and was like, you no good son of a bitch. And like gave me a big hug like we were long lost best friends.
Yeah.
And it kind of just rekindled a friendship and got to know more about Eric's life, through adulthood, through going to the pizza joint and getting to visit quite a bit. And I told him he needed to write a book about his life because his life has been one that be valuable for people to have a little bit of an insight into it. For people that think that, they can't for whatever reason. Eric's lived a life that shows people that you can. And oddly enough, he ends up selling the pizza joint a couple, 2-3 years later, something like
3
that.
years.
3 years. 3 years later, sells the pizza joint and then calls me one day and he's like, hey, guess what? I was like, what's that? And he's like, I wrote a book. So I was thinking it was going to be like his, memoirs basically, which it was not. But a cool book nonetheless. And he's gone on to write several more. And you started this podcast, and we started, thinking about people we could have on to have interesting conversations with. And Eric, you were at the top of my list, man. So we're glad you're here, and we know you've got a story that's worth sharing. So
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I don't know that the story's worth telling, but it's a story.
Crazy. So Trent usually kicks everything off. I'll leave that to him as far as the structure of everything, but that's my intro.
Man, there's no real. I don't know if you have listened to any of these. You're not going to
Listen
hurt
to
our
one.
feelings. You're not going to hurt our feelings if you say no. But there's really no structure. It's your chance to tell a life story. We want to know from born, raised to now, as much as you're willing to share. I got your bio. There's definitely some interesting parts. So we want to hit on those, of course. The goal of it is the grind, like why you do what you do, how you overcame some crazy things, and then what you're doing now.
Yeah.
So you start wherever you want to and catch us up.
Well, I don't really know where to start. It's kind of challenging. My entire life has been a challenge, number one. So where to start with a challenge is kind of difficult for me, you know. I was raised gypsy. I think you all three are sheriff's deputies, right?
2 of us work in law enforcement.
Okay. Well, you're familiar with the gypsies, so that's where I come from. Proud to be a gypsy. Love every one of my family members. Love all of my people. My father was a difficult man. I loved him with every single ounce of my being.
Can we back up for a second for the people that don't know what the gypsy culture is? Can you explain a little bit of that?
What the gypsy culture is? Not really. That's a loaded question, right?
I mean, is it in the gypsy code that you like it's secretive, or you just don't know how to explain it?
I don't really know how to explain it, and yes, it's somewhat secretive. I mean, we don't talk about it a lot. I'm definitely out of the loop on most of it because
Right.
I live a completely different life. However, my family is still in it, you know. But it's just you're born Rumney chill, and that's what you are. You're just a gypsy. You know it from the day of birth and all throughout your life. It's just who you are.
What was this? Rumney chill?
Rumney chill, yeah.
You want to add a definition of that word?
That's gypsy.
Okay.
That's gypsy for gypsy. How's that?
Yeah, I was going
All
to
right.
ask. I was like, what's that mean?
That's gypsy for gypsy. So there's some of their own language.
Yes. We have a full language, yeah. You guys would be known to us as muskers, which you should know.
No,
No.
Oh, that's surprising to me.
nope, not familiar. So is that muskers? Is that gypsy for police?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Had no idea. So a lot of that culture, by the time I got around, had started. Well, I don't want to say the culture had started to fade out, but I know before I went to work at the agency that I work for, we try to leave that stuff out though, because in case we ever step out of bounds for something that our agencies wouldn't appreciate. I know there was a time when the neighborhood back there where you were raised, that was a really intense thing, like between them and local law enforcement.
It's
For
still
sure.
funny because I brought it up today. I was teaching a defensive tactics class, and I was talking today, and then I was on the phone later talking to some older law enforcement, and I said, we were having somebody on, and I said, like, where you grew up, what it's called right there. And I just brought that up, and they all laughed. And they're like, Wolf. I go, what? And they go, we can tell you what kind of guy he is if he came out of there.
Yeah. There's definitely a certain person that comes out
Yeah.
of that neighborhood. We're all cut from the same cloth.
Yeah. I'm just excited to learn gypsy culture at this point now.
I didn't realize there was a culture to it. So
I didn't
much.
either.
I mean,
There's definitely a culture to it. We have our own ways of doing things. I mean, the TV shows that they've put on is just put on airs, but this is a very, very challenging thing to describe because it is, you know, it's not that they hide from the public, but they really don't want anybody to know what they do. I mean, they just kind of stick to themselves, and that's the way it is. Gypsies marry gypsies, and you stay within your own.
I remember going back up in the neighborhood when, you remember Josh Boyd?
Yeah.
That we went to high school with. Josh and I were out driving around sometime shortly after we got cars and riding around with Josh, and we ended up back in there doing something. It was just a whole different world back in there.
It was a whole different world.
It's way softer back there than it was 30 years ago. Yes or no?
Sure. It's been taken over by the paper companies. Home Pro moving in was a big deal. It's changed quite a bit over the last 40, 50 years, and it used to be known as the Kansas City Bottoms years and years ago.
Right.
But now everything is kind of progressing and pushing even the dope heads out and all that, which a lot of the dope heads are my own family who I love dearly. They just needed to
They're
go
family,
a long time ago.
right.
They're family. They're
Yep.
family. So it's cleaning itself up, and I predict within 10 years, which, I've got mixed emotions about it, but within 10 years, that place will no longer
Schuber Mitchell have a subdivision back in there or something.
probably.
Yeah.
I think the paper company, which I know all the paper company. I was raised with him. His cousin is one of my best friends my entire life. I think he will buy most of the places out and change that neighborhood for the better.
Right.
The better. And it's time for everyone to leave and to exit that place because all the old people are gone. And I think we can all understand that the family dynamic has changed. So you no longer have patriarchs, matriarchs, where you go and you visit them and you want to sit and you hang out there, and then the entire family congregates to that place. That doesn't happen anymore, and that doesn't happen in the gypsy culture, which is surprising because we're steeped in family, and it doesn't happen in normal life anymore.
Really? So back to we got the story started, and then we started talking about the gypsy culture. You basically got interrupted at your father was a difficult man.
He was a difficult man. Complicated. He had his demons for sure. He didn't know how to live life, which none of us do, and he probably chose the incorrect way to go about what he thought was right. He couldn't stop the drugs, and he couldn't stop the alcohol. The alcohol was the killer. He wasn't a huge drug addict, but he was a big drinker. Big drinker.
Where were you born at?
Born in Joplin.
Were you?
Yeah.
And then you ended up in
All over. He drug us all over the country. One of my favorite memories of life, and I don't know how we got there. He got a sentence after his, I'd like to say it's his 19th or 20th DUI. I have the paperwork somewhere. I don't have much of my parents' stuff, but I do have some of his legal documents, which is very surprising. But I think it was after his 19th or 20th DUI. He worked some deal out in Weir, Kansas with the O'Malleys, who own a lot of property out there, for a farmhouse. And he put us in his farmhouse for a month before he went to jail. And then we stayed there for 6 months while he was locked up. When he got out, we lived there for almost another year. And I absolutely loved that farm life. We had Milo fields all around us. He bought me a little 22 rifle called a Chipmunk 22 rifle. You ever seen it? Heard it? I'm not a gun person. I don't. You know what?
I had
it
one of
is.
those growing up.
Yeah, they was
Single
fantastic.
shot?
Single shot.
Yep.
It was great. I've never been a hunter in my life except for that portion of it. And while he was locked up, it was through the winter, and I went down. I shot frogs. I shot rabbits,
Turtle,
you name it. I had a ball out there in that country, which they had a cousin of mine who will remain nameless. He went to jail shortly after that, and he's done probably 30, 35 years off and on for the most part. I love him dearly. He's one of my favorite cousins. But I found pot plants out in the woods, and I was only 8 years old and knew what pot plants were at that point. I mean, I don't know if you guys do, but for me, it was normal, you know? And I showed my cousin these pot plants, and he harvested it, and then he smoked an old joint with me at 8 years old.
8 years old.
At 8 years old to, reward me for finding this. Lo and behold, do you know whose pot plants they were? My father's before he went.
Oh, man.
He hit him up in the woods, and he was ready for it when he got out. So
How many were there?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. A dozen or better, probably.
Right.
Good time.
So this was in Weir, Kansas.
Weir, Kansas, yeah. Right down the road from Acme Brick, honestly.
I don't know where Acme Brick's at over there,
I
or
don't know
was.
much about Weir, Kansas.
Just across
Not
the
many
state.
do.
Yeah.
It's just across the state line.
I mean, I know where it's
Yeah.
at, but
Yeah.
I could drive you there, but I couldn't tell you where anything is inside the city.
Yeah, there's not much there.
Yeah, which consequently was not my first time driving, but my first time having an accident in that same home. When my father got out of jail, he had a thirst for alcohol, so we drove from Weir, Kansas to Joplin. And you remember where the old Snack Attack used to be there in Stone's Corner?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's where we stopped. And I wanted these Bigfoot cards, and he told me no. My father never told me no about buying anything. He kind of spoiled me. We didn't have a lot of money, But if I wanted something, and I never asked for too much, but he told me no on these Bigfoot cards, and he was hammered drunk, and I thought, boy, I got him right here. He'll give me whatever I want. Wouldn't give me those Bigfoot cards. I was so disappointed. We got back to the truck, and he had this old Levi jacket with the wool collar, and he looked sharp in that
cowboy
thing.
jacket.
Yeah, you damn right. He looked sharp in it, boy. And he pulled his pockets out and handed me at least a dozen packs of these Bigfoot cards. And then we made our way back to Weir, Kansas through the county roads, dirt roads, which my father was a true gypsy, and he knew his way around this country by any back road. I mean, and so Weir, Kansas was no problem. About halfway there, puts me on his lap, lets me steer the truck. Just as we turned to go into Weir and toward our house, he guns it on that dirt road, spins it into a ditch, likes to kill both of us.
So you have some really good memories.
I loved him, yeah.
Yeah.
He was, he was a nut, but he treated me good for the most part, and he treated most people well. If you crossed him, he was a different animal. He would hold you accountable for what you had to say, and you know that I do the same thing. Probably not to his degree,
Obviously.
but he would hold you accountable for it. But he wanted to love you going in. He was just challenged at heart. He couldn't figure out how to love everyone all the time. And most of his frustration went out on my mother, who was his best friend, the love of his life. And so he abused her many, many times. We watched it. And, watching your mother get beat and trying to intervene and getting some of it yourself, that's pretty challenging to still love the man after all that,
Right.
And that goes to show that you can see the hurt in an individual and still want to. And even at 8, 9, 10 years old, I could see that I always wanted to help him. Like, this is a good man. I saw the good in him even then,
Well, like you're lighting up, telling the stories about him.
I love him. I miss
And
him
obviously
right
I
now.
know where the story goes with him, right? So,
Which will be surprised to anybody to know that I love this man as
Right.
much as I do.
yeah. Knowing where the story goes and watching you tell the story about him and like lighting up, smiling, remembering him it makes the story more interesting because knowing where the story goes, I expect everything leading up to it to be horrible.
Most people do.
Right.
And I think
And that's clearly not the case.
it's not the case. And I struggled with these feelings for a very long time. But most people think that somebody that does something horrible to you, you've got to hate them. But you don't. You didn't hate them before they did that act. Why do you have to hate them afterward? You can still love an evil person. My father was an evil person. Like, was he good? Yeah, he was good. He had his good moments. I can't tell you how many times he came home without his cowboy boots on his feet because he'd give them away. He would give you every last dollar out of his pocket because he could always go make more. I mean, he was that way. But that alcohol, he couldn't control himself. And like I say, he took a lot of anger out on my mother and us children that didn't need to be there.
So he took you all over the country. How much you spent, what'd you say, about a year in Kansas? Year and a half?
That was the best year of my life, to
Really?
be honest with you. And 6 months of it, he wasn't there. We had my cousin Johnny, who I still look at his picture. He's passed away. I don't really want to say his last name, but he's from New Edition. And there was a certain agency over here hot on his trail for a long time. But I loved him. He took me, while father was locked up, my dad had a 78 Ford. And again, this is in Weir, Kansas. Best time of my life. I mean, greatest time. Something happened with Johnny at the bar, and somebody knocked his window out. And the next day, my mother needed milk from the store, so we went down to the store, and in the passenger seat of the truck, I'd noticed his window was knocked out, and there was glass everywhere, and he handed me a pair of shades, and he's like, hey, put this on so this glass don't blow in your eyes. And I always thought, man, he really cares about me.
So where'd you go from Kansas?
Let's see. We went from, this is where things started to spiral downhill. We left Kansas and I believe went back to Texas for just a little bit.
On the road working, or what was going on there?
Yeah, he traveled a lot for work. Most of the time he did it by himself. And then he would come home because he would keep us. We lived pretty well in a camper that 12, 15 foot long. There was no privacy in it, but that was life. And I have 2 sisters, so there was 5 of us in this camper. And leaving that farmhouse to go back into the camper was pretty challenging. But it was something that I'd done my entire life, so I was used to, right? And then from there, we came back to West Mineral, Kansas, which was the first time I stole. Right down from Big Brutus, you know where West Mineral is? It's not too far from where. There was a little gas station by the place we had our camper parked. We were camped in my father's cousin's, who I guess is my cousin's yard. And my mother sent me with the money over to the store to buy a bag of ice. And when I got there, the woman didn't acknowledge me with the bag of ice, so I just walked out and put the money in my pocket and never told anyone. Still never, no one ever knows that I kept that 40, 50 cents, whatever that bag of ice was. I don't even remember.
Right.
But from there, we rented a place outside of town in Kansas. And they had got into a huge argument. My mother had never taken us out of the home before. And she called my Uncle Roger, who was her brother, and he came and picked us up. And my Uncle Roger was a Vietnam vet. Like, my father was a tough man, but he wasn't as fisty as what my Uncle Roger was. So they had their deal, and at the end of it, we left with Uncle Roger. The entire family and father was left there standing by himself. And we were gone for 4 or 5 days at my Uncle Roger's house, which it was great. I missed my father. My sisters missed my father. That family dynamic and bond of being home. Everyone wants to be home, especially when you're a child. That's your only place to be. Now, we traveled all over and moved all over, so home was with my mother and father. I mean, that's all we knew, right? So 4 or 5 days went by, and he wooed her back and got her back over there. And my mother had never driven a car ever in her life, but she had just started like the 6 months prior, and he had bought her a Dodge Diplomat. You know what a Dodge Diplomat is? Mm-hmm. And when we pulled up, everything that we owned inside the trailer house was laying out on the lawn, and he had shot at least 1,000 bullet holes in that Dodge Diplomat. You couldn't take your thumb and put it from one hole to the other without touching another one. And we stayed. We moved from that place rather quickly, but we stayed. And then we moved over to Carthage, and we stayed there for a short time, and she left again. And at this point, she moved in with her sister, which was just down the road a little bit. That's where she met a guy while she was separated from my dad.
You guys were gone for a while, staying with your uncle, and you came back and he'd shot up a car that he had bought her. That was just because he was mad that she had left.
Yeah.
And he was lashing out, basically.
Lashing out.
Yeah.
The only thing remaining inside the house when we went in there was the dining room table, which was just a small table, 1 chair, and the salt and pepper shakers. That's it. There was nothing else inside that house. He had taken everything else out.
Okay, so she comes back. They separate again. You're in Carthage now?
I'm in Carthage now. Not far from here, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's just probably 5 miles down after you come out of Carterville. You hang a left, which I guess that's not Carthage. It was Carthage Schools. They put me in Carthage Schools for, right, I think, 1 month, because she never went back again. So I enrolled in Carthage School, which the place we were staying in wasn't in that great a condition. And it was the first place that I ever got head lice. Because when I went to Carthage Schools, I got called into the office for having head lice, and My father lost his absolute mind over that because of the place she had us at. Now, I love my mother. My mother was a saint. These stories that I tell today probably won't include my mother. She's just, up here.
Right.
She's not one that I talk about. I don't keep her picture in my house. I don't look at her picture.
Why?
Can't.
Really? Still?
I'll never be able to. And I don't even know what she looks like anymore.
God dang, dude. That gave me goosebumps.
She was a very tolerant woman. She loved everyone with every ounce of her being all the time. Christian woman. Her father was a preacher. If you came to her house, you got fed no matter what. First off, even if you wasn't hungry. She loved everyone. And she was just a fantastic person. Best mother ever. But yeah, when I saw her kiss the guy, that was very hard, and I was 10 years old then, so a little time had passed, and we'd jumped place to place, and I tried to hit him with a baseball bat even at 10.
I can believe that. I knew you at 10.
Yeah, it was true.
You were feisty then.
I was feisty. You met me at 11, I think. 11, maybe 12. I don't know.
6th grade.
6th grade, that's 11, yeah. So it was the year after all this happened.
Everything happened in the summer, didn't it?
It happened May 26th.
Yeah.
Yep. And when I tried to hit the man with a baseball bat, my mother fell to pieces, of course, with shame. Shame was her biggest problem. But I left from there and went to my grandmother's, which was not far from where that place was, honestly. Like, still, even if you go around the bend, it's Maple Lane over outside of Carterville. And that's where my father was staying at the time. And I just couldn't be around my mother at that point. My sisters both stayed there, but I just couldn't.
Is this because your mom's now seeing somebody that's not your dad, and that's just not sitting well with, the boy?
It's not
being
sitting
you?
well with me, yeah.
Right.
And I
Just
can't
out of
say that
loyalty
she
to your
was
dad.
seeing him. And, I've reflected on this a few times in my life. And a woman that has been with her husband since she was 15, 16 years old, and then gets attention from another man, like, especially, a woman that's been abused to where the point she's had to flee with her children. Mm-hmm. So I get it. I understand. And I can certainly appreciate. Now, I have no respect for the guy that kissed my mother. And I met him later in life. We won't discuss that. But I can certainly understand how she felt with probably wanting some affection from someone. I can get that. And I bet her poor heart begged for that. So
Almost certainly.
Now it makes me happy to know that maybe she felt a little bit of relief after all of that,
So I assume we're getting into the part where it starts to get really heavy.
Or
is there a
escalates
gap?
pretty quickly here. I stayed there for less than a week. My father was visibly distraught. He was selling most of his stuff. He got his hair cut. I did too, from a guy named Ray Chavez in Webb City.
Yeah, old Ray.
And I've never been back to Ray Chavez. But my father pawned his tools to him. He always had diamond rings, horseshoe rings, a lot of jewelry on his hands, a ring on almost every finger. He had probably 50 guns, He sold most of it, and he would just lay around drunk all the time. And I can remember the night before everything happened, like, he had sold a seal outfit, which is asphalt sealer. And while they were loading the tank, and this wasn't the night before, this would happen a few days earlier. While they were loading the tank slid off the truck and it smashed his big toe, resulting in him to lose his big toenail. Well, the night before everything happened, he gave me that toenail and said, "I want you to have something to remember by." And, he gave me all kinds of love and affection. So I knew something was off with him, right? Like I could tell. We're not very sharp at 10, but we're aware. We're smarter than, and you know, I look at kids now and think, well, they know a lot more than what we're letting on. And the very next day we had a barbecue, and I don't know how he did it, but he talked my mother to coming over there. It was at my grandmother's house, my other 3 uncles, all of my cousins, the entire family, which was fantastic to have everyone there. And I don't know how he got her to come, but she came, and we ate dinner. And after dinner, I had gone outside, and I was playing with my little basketball goal, the March Madness. This was 1990, so it was the March Madness little basketball goal, little basketball that I'd gotten from Pizza Hut. Do you remember those things? They're awesome. And I saw Mom and Dad come out the door, and he was leading her by her arm, and I noticed he had a pistol in his back, tucked in his back pocket. But you know, that was not uncommon. My father carried pistols, and he carried them because he was a felon, and he carried him in a way that, you know, there was no concealed carry back then. You know, like and he surely wouldn't qualify. So it was not uncommon for me to see. And they walked around the side of the house, and they got a good distance around, and I heard my mother scream, and I took off, and that's when I saw him put the pistol to her head and then turn it on himself.
We've talked about that. So the first time, the day we met was in 6th grade. You had come over to North Middle School, and we had Miss Hanson, the home ec teacher, was our homeroom. I don't know if you remember this or not.
I don't remember yet. I remember Miss Hanson.
She was the home ec teacher, and that was like our homeroom. Yeah. I have 2 memories with you in that classroom, and the first one is you sat in the desk in front of me, and you turned around, and the first thing you said to me was, "I saw my dad kill my mom and then kill himself." First thing you ever said to me.
Thanks, buddy.
Of course, I didn't have an answer for that at that age.
Yeah.
Like, what? You know? And then the next thing I remember out of that is we were sewing buttons to our hand. Like when we started learning to sew in home ec, like when you actually had to do that kind of a class, we would sew buttons to the spot where you get calluses on your hands, like being kids. Right?
Do you know how much I enjoyed learning how to sew? Still to this day, Matt, and I'm not kidding you. You can ask Shelly about this. I'm the sewer in our family.
Really?
If a button needs put on, Eric Rickey does it. If a seam needs stitched, Eric Rickey does it. She don't even know how to work a needle. She don't even know how to thread a needle.
Really?
I'm the needle man.
Yeah.
All from then. See?
Yeah.
Miss Hanson taught me something.
Yeah. So
she may not have known that, but she did.
We've talked about this a few times, you know, the pizza joint and stuff.
Yeah. Which I don't talk to many people about this.
Oh, why would you?
It's pretty hard, yeah. And I'm not sure why I said that to you then. I don't remember saying it to you.
You're a kid. You were in shock.
That was a pretty rough time, yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the time lapse between when this happened to when he would have found out?
First fucking day of school.
One year probably.
Okay.
Which I was in counseling for the first year. After that happened, I moved with my aunt and uncle in New Addition, which is the neighborhood we were discussing. I think you all know the term for that neighborhood.
100%.
So I moved there, and I went to 5th grade because this happened in May 26th. My mother died May 28th, and my father died June 16th. And I started school whatever day that was, end of August. And I was doing counseling with multiple different counselors because it wasn't working. Whatever was going on there wasn't helping. I wasn't very receptive to the psychologists. I treated some of them very, very badly. I may have even hit a few of them. So I didn't, and my aunt and uncle, we didn't talk about it. My sisters, we didn't talk about it. I didn't talk about it.
Were you the only one of the kids that had to see it?
Yeah. And thank God for that.
For sure.
So I'm trying to put a little bit of this together because I'm trying to do a little research while I'm doing this. So it wasn't like it all happened like in one day setting.
As far as
You said like mom died on this day, then dad died on this day. So there was like a gap between them.
there was a gap.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
But it happened at the same time.
It happened at the same time. My mother died 2 days later, which was very, very hard. And I struggled with a lot of things during that time while my father was still laying alive in the hospital room, which they would not let me in to see him. And I could not see my mother, which, of course, gunshot wounds to the head.
Yeah.
I get it now, but good God, that was my soul. But they ripped it out. And they wouldn't. I didn't have any answers, and I couldn't talk to anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I wanted to see my mother. I wanted to see my father. I wanted to be back there. So,
Okay.
very challenging time.
Yeah, that makes more sense in the timeline for me. All right, thank you.
And he hung on for a long time, and I can remember someone telling me, I think it was my grandmother, because he was my grandmother's baby. And my grandma Dorothy treated me as if I were a king my entire life, if that makes any sense. And she told me in a little private conversation that when the doctors tickled his feet, that his toes moved. So that meant something. And I remembered holding on to that this man's going to get up. And, I struggled with it, but I wanted him back. Like, I struggled with what he did.
But he was still your dad.
I wanted him home. I wanted him with me. Yeah.
Right. That just says something about the innocence of a child's mind,
It sure does.
Even for you to tell the stories that you told 10 minutes ago and still smile about it and stuff, it's a dad's love is crazy how much it can
It's
impact
crazy.
a kiddo.
And he treated me like a little king my entire life. He never chastised me. He walked me around, which is probably why I walk with such confidence these days, is because I was a little man. Even as a little kid, like 5, 6 years old, I was on roofs with him. I was paving driveways. I was telling men what to do. And he would back me up. Just do what he says. Who does that?
Right.
Who does that? So, I was always aware, and I can remember winning speaking of Weir, Kansas, I can remember winning the spelling bee in Weir, Kansas, and I've never seen a man so happy in his life because my father didn't know how to read. And he was very, very proud of the fact that I won a spelling bee. Now, I beat out like 11 kids, so it wasn't that
I mean, it was
spectacular.
Weir, Kansas.
But to have him
Right.
shower me with love, that
Right.
that was something. That was something.
So, getting on towards the middle school years, from what I remember, or we talked about the introduction,
Yeah.
I remember you being, man, I hate it being dark, like focusing on the darkness of your childhood, but it gets better. Like, that's the whole point of this thing, is
It
like
gets
how
better.
much better it gets for you.
Yeah.
It's a really good redemption story.
It's an incredible redemption story. Like, that's why I think the emphasis on the dark shit is so important, because it's fucking dark, man.
It's pretty dark. Yeah.
Pretty dark.
Yeah, it's not like it was just
pretty
like
dark.
a couple moments
I
of
get broke
darkness.
up with by a girlfriend of 3 months, and it's pretty dark. Like,
we're under the bed at this
like
point.
yeah,
Like,
this
it's-
is like, it doesn't get darker than.
But here's the perspective change. He lived it, and he's like, I mean, it was dark. Here's us in our different life. We're like,
soft
man,
ass lives that we
this
live.
was rough. And I mean, it wasn't like a couple minutes of rough. It was like, when I look at like my notes for your life, I'm like, there was years of darkness and rough.
My entire life, I'm 46 years old. Darkness is a part of me.
Yeah.
I still live in the shadows, even though I don't need to.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
100%. Yeah.
I always think my mind always looks for positivity, but it always finds the negative aspect. So it's like a fleeting moment where I go, well, let's be positive today about stuff, but then it's just right down there. And it'll never change. That'll never change. And it's been a long struggle to get to where I'm at today, because those middle school years were very tough on me. Living in my aunt and uncle's house, I love my sisters. I had my sisters with me. In New Edition, growing up in New Edition, I can't tell you, standing on the outside looking in, you think, boy, New Edition is just a piece of shit. It's just a shitty place to grow up. Let me tell you something, boys. That was the best times of my life. We did anything and everything we wanted to within reason. See, there's rules in that neighborhood, or at least there were back then. So
we're not privy to these rules. All we see is just from the outside.
You got a unruly neighbor that's riding a motorcycle around at 8:00 at night. You didn't do that in the neighborhood. You didn't do that in New Edition. One of the people would come out and hit you in the chest with an axe handle, knock you off that motorcycle, and no one would say anything about it. You be respectful of each other. You treat everybody great. They'll treat you great. Life is good. You just didn't get away with that stuff. Everyone shut it down. I mean, there was no big raging parties. Everyone tried to, the ones that were up to no good, they kept it to themselves. It's not like everyone didn't know. I mean, they would gladly tell you, hey, I'm selling this. I'm doing this. Okay, well, keep it over there. Don't bring it over in my yard. That's the way life went out there. Everyone was understanding and accepting. And growing up in that neighborhood was great.
It's like a whole different culture.
It's a whole different animal, and it's not the same anymore. However, a lot of the players are still there. They're just, and I take it back to the family dynamic, which we've lost in this country, to where it all goes down to blood is blood. Mm-hmm. Everything you do for family. But if my cousin, no matter what he did, I'd stand by him. They're like, what are you doing? Don't do that. But whatever you want to do.
But I'm here with you.
You walk through the door with him.
Right. I remember the middle school years. I don't remember much of you in high school. When did you leave high school?
I finished the 10th grade. So I had to be somewhere in the 11th grade when they let me know that I wouldn't be graduating.
Gotcha. I remember an angry kid.
I was an angry kid, yeah. I bet I had 100 fights from 10 years old till I left at 16.
Do you remember busting me in the mouth on the way in from recess one day?
No,
we've talked about it.
I don't he for sure deserved it.
Probably, but I don't remember what the deal was.
I was willing to give them out. And willing to take them. I like to take them more than I like to give them out.
I don't remember, I never remember us having any beef.
I don't remember us having any trouble.
I always remember us getting along.
I do too.
We played basketball and stuff. Like, that was the big thing at North. We always played basketball. We were coming in from recess one day, and I don't know, he did something, made me turn around. He was behind me. I turned around and whop! It just chili whomped me right in the teeth. And we had our little scrap. And I just remember, I'm trying to think of the way to describe it. You were a short, stout kid.
Yeah.
Blonde hair and just angry, squinted eyes, and you just wanted to fucking fight that day. And like I said, I don't have any recollection of what it was, but knowing what I know about you now and your life and everything, there was just a kid that had a lot of fucking anger.
I had a lot of anger.
Yeah. And so now you have to navigate those adolescent years, which obviously are trying times for
They're
people,
tough for boys in
for
general.
just boys in general that grow up with the silver spoon. They can be an awkward time, And you definitely didn't grow up with the silver spoon, and now you're going through these trying times with everything else piled on top of that. So now the anger makes sense. Take us from there to where you go from high school.
I have one question before we dig into that. So, mom and dad's life growing up, I know like growing pot and stuff was like harder drugs involved in that life or not really?
Not he did it a little bit,
Okay.
and of course, I mean, we're talking late 80s.
Yeah.
Cocaine was prevalent, so yeah,
Right.
he did plenty. My mother never touched anything. She never drank. She never did any drugs, no alcohol.
Because I know that drugs are kind of prevalent in the gypsy culture.
They are.
So I didn't know if that.
And he had a lot. Now he ate a lot of Xanaxes, and she would hold these Xanaxes back because he would get carried away with Xanaxes, or not Xanaxes, Valium. I'm sorry, Valium was his baby. So she would hide a few back so that when he got carried away, she could give him to him because he would go through whatever he got. He
All
could
right.
eat 20 a day and drink his whiskey. And when I'm talking about whiskey, like he shot half a pint like it was water, like worse than what we would drink that bottled water sitting there.
Yeah.
And he kept them tucked in his boot.
Boots. All right. Well, we'll let you catch back up. I'm sorry. I just wanted to clear up that because these are the questions that I have as we go. So.
No, yeah. Ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So give us the years, like you went through high school or through middle school and part of high school. Like you said, you probably got in 100 fist fights during that time. And then decided high school wasn't, finishing high school wasn't for you. You're how old at that
They
point?
told me it wasn't for me.
They told you it wasn't for you.
They said, Eric, this school thing's probably not for you.
Yeah. My time with my aunt and uncle was pretty challenging. We were poor. Didn't know we were as poor as we were until I went to school. And I was like, I look at these shoes I got, and people told me it was shit, and I'd have to hit them in the mouth for telling me my shoes sucked. So I didn't know that we were poor, and I didn't know how you were supposed to respond to that. Well, they didn't have any money, so I worked every day throughout my childhood to buy my own school clothes. Now, they bought me some school clothes, don't get me wrong, but they wouldn't go, they ain't buying Nikes. So I worked $10 a day, every damn day, to be able to provide myself some school clothes and my sisters what they needed. And I did that all the way through until I left, until I realized, hey, I can make a fortune out here because I've got balls bigger than brains. And,
Sometimes that's what it takes, though.
it's easy.
Yeah.
Money is the easiest thing to come by if you're willing to do what it takes to get it. Now, there's consequences, but money is the easiest thing to come by.
Yeah.
If you know where to look, know where to go get it.
And you're not afraid to go work for it.
This is true.
Yeah.
So they let me know pretty rudely that I didn't have enough credits and it wasn't looking very good to me, which I got in some trouble, like serious trouble, where they had pulled me out of school at one point, and I went to a Christian school, a private school for a while, and it was evident to me that that wasn't going to work. And that was with my best friend. It was his school, and it was not going to work for me. Now, the first week that I was there, I thought, man, this is the life for me. But truthfully, there was a motor running in my heart that would not stop. So a week beyond that peace that I felt in that Christian church, it was time to go.
What do you mean a motor running in your heart that wouldn't stop?
I don't really know how to explain that. So my entire life, still to this day, I have a massive amount of energy. I can never stop. I never falter or fail. I just keep going, and I can feel the anxiety, and it was especially prevalent back then in my life. I could always feel that anxiety, like I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know how to walk through society. I didn't know where to stop. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know. I could lay in bed at night and just lay there the entire night and wake up the next morning with maybe 10 minutes of sleep. I always felt anxious.
The peacefulness wasn't peaceful after a certain point.
No. And it's, I still struggle with that today. 46 years old with the love of my life, never wanting to go anywhere.
You're domestic now.
I'm domestic.
Yeah.
I'm domestic, but I still struggle with it, and I have to fight those urges down.
Wow.
So it's like you're never content?
I'm never content.
Okay.
And I don't know that I'll ever be content. I pray that I will, if I prayed, but I'm just not content. I want. I don't know how to explain
that next best thing. You're always pushing to be better.
Always
and-
pushing
yeah.
to be better. At which that is where I directed it. That's not how it came out originally. It's probably akin to that shot of cocaine. That's the way that I felt all the time. Just ready to go, just looking for whatever we want to do.
Okay.
Just energy, energy, energy.
And that's what kind of spiraled you probably into your crime alcohol life.
Oh yeah, for sure. The only thing I've done every drug under the sun, and the only thing that I've ever found that would help me take the edge off and slow down a little bit is alcohol. Now, with that being said, alcohol has been my biggest problem in life because that whiskey, well, that's even worse. It runs through me, and I'm telling you, if we had one shot of whiskey and you said, "Hey, let's ride to Kansas City," who's driving? Whatever you want to do, I'm down. I don't care what it is, except for hunting deer. I don't hunt deer.
You should start. It's wonderful.
I don't know how to shoot a rifle.
I can teach you. We can work that out. So, some of your young years, you're doing a lot to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
When did you meet Shelly?
I met Shelly. So this is a peculiar story, and I have to give a little backstory. So Shelly's aunt, her father's sister, is married to my aunt's son, who's my cousin, right?
By marriage.
By marriage.
Right. Okay.
So the day that my mother and father were shot, she happened to be on the place where they took me to drop me off when all that happened. Because they immediately, before the police got there, they jerked me up and took me out of there with my sisters. So the very first day, the very first minutes after that all happened, I walk into my cousin Chuck's house, and there's a little redheaded girl sitting over there that I didn't give two shits about, right? But that she was there that day, and that's where they took me. They put me in a bedroom, and they tried to love me up.
Did you and Shelly connect there?
No,
Like as, little friends or anything?
no, I didn't look for a friend at all.
So there was no years down the road when you guys became a thing, had nothing to do with that.
Had nothing to do with it.
Really?
Yep.
Just small world stuff.
It's a small world thing. And years later, when we got to discussing it, she remembered. But that was day one of laying eyes on my wife. Now, granted, her little red curly hair wasn't anything I was interested in then, but
Now.
6 years later,
Yeah.
Come here.
So was she around for all of your, I'd say, crime, alcohol, crazy days when you got a little bit older?
Oh yeah, yeah.
She's loved you through all that.
She has. She's loved me harshly through all of that. We got serious in 97. So I'd have been 17. She was 15. Scandalous. And from day one, I don't think, let me take that back. So we had dated the year prior. Now, I don't know if Matt has told you, but my wife is 6 foot tall.
No, he left that out.
Yeah, she's 6 foot tall, and you can see that I'm not a very tall individual. But so that would have been 96 the first time I asked her out. Like, we were walking around the neighborhood. This one was too tall for me. Like, I'm reaching up for her hand. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And then we went to kiss, and she kissed my nose. I'm like, nah, this is it. So I immediately
She
was
gives
like,
great forehead kisses. He says.
I'm like, we're done here.
You felt safe.
And well, the next year I'd hit a little growth spurt and got me a couple inches. I was like, yeah, hey, you come and see me now. And so once we started that and we got to know each other, I knew then that I never wanted anyone else in my life. I knew right then. I don't know how she felt, but in high school, I knew that she's who I wanted. So I tried my best to keep her hog tied and shoestring tackled right next to me.
And then you left high school and went on the road working, or what
Yep.
did you do?
That was when I didn't know what to do. I didn't have any. Of course, you know, I had skills because growing up in New Edition, you know how to do things. But that's where I finally went back out with my family and learned how to really flim flam and fraud some people out of their money.
So what was the?
Is flim flam a gypsy term, or is that like a?
No, that's
Okay.
a well-known term.
All right, I was just making sure.
I didn't recognize.
I didn't
it.
recognize it either.
You
So
can Google that one.
I'm trying to keep up here. Okay.
So you went out and learned to fraud people out of money. What was that like? What were you doing?
Overcharging for everything that I did, whether it was asphalt work, whether it was roof work, whether it was cleaning gutters, whatever you had, I would try to get it. And I never stopped. I asked somebody for a large amount of money one time, and they gave it to me. And I thought, you know, if they're just going to give it to me, why don't I ask for more? And when I ask for more, why do I stop until they start squawking? And then I'll bring it back. So I would just always ask for more. And that was always my strategy, just ask for more than what it was worth.
What kind of work were you doing then? Just basic handyman labor, like you
Pretty
said,
well.
cleaning gutters.
Yep.
You know,
And we would target a certain individual. We would target the elderly. We would do awful things. Like I would work for normal people most of the time, 90% of the time, but don't think I didn't keep my eye out for that elderly victim that I could get more money for.
so where did that take you? How long did you
Nowhere.
do that for?
I did that for a long time. Many, many years, made many thousands of dollars and wasted every bit of it. Drinking, carrying on, tearing up vehicles, just being a menace to society. And you know, even when I was proud of that, I could talk to people about it and be proud of it. My little heart never could handle it at night. When you lay on your pillow at night and it's just you and the ceiling fan and the darkness, your heart will tell you exactly what you should be doing if you'll listen. And it always told me that. And I think that's where some of the alcoholism started, because the more that I did that, the more alcohol I needed. And I was following my father's footsteps with the whiskey. And I was playing George Jones, who he loves, and which consequently, nice story about George
I would
Jones.
say, can we tell the George Jones story?
Yeah.
This is good.
So we're my cousin. I love George Jones. Everyone knows this. Greatest singer of all time. Not even debatable. You can't tell me otherwise. My cousin takes me to a George Jones concert at the Grand Palace of all places, and I'm standing out back. I'm not even certain I'm 18, honestly. Standing out back, and we're at his tour bus, and I've already drank 3 or 4 pints of whiskey, and his wife at the time lets the dog out, and it comes running right beside us, and I pick the dog up, and I walk it back to her, and she holds her hands out. I'm like, I'm not giving you this dog. She said, well, what do you mean? I was like, I'm not giving you this dog. The only way I'll give you this dog is if you promise to have George Jones come out and take a picture with me. She did it. He come out, and I had a little disposable camera because this was a long time ago, before cell phones. I wish we had it. And the first picture I took caught nothing but our mouths. Luckily, my cousin took the camera and took a bunch of pictures, but he was so nervous because I was clutching on him and holding him tight. Come here, George. Get over here with me. He was so nervous. I could feel his body energy just, it was off. But I got pictures with him. I still got it displayed. As soon as I got him developed, I took my wife's picture with her and her best friend out, and it's a purple picture case that says best friends forever on it. And me and George is in there, and now it'll never come out because George Jones's face is stuck to the front glass.
Couldn't peel it out without tearing the
Couldn't peel
picture
it
out.
It'll be in there forever.
Yeah.
Love it.
So I thought you kept the dog.
No.
Oh, you ended up
No,
giving
I
it
gave
back?
No.
Oh.
She agreed.
I thought you full blown stole his dog.
Now, if she didn't agree, that was going to be a
She
different.
agreed, and she delivered on it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I thought the story was that you actually stole his dog and you had his dog.
I held it hostage for about this long.
Yeah,
It was not
twisted.
a very dramatic hostage situation, but I did steal his dog.
Yeah, I thought you kept it for a while, like permanently.
So how long were you out there flim-flamming?
Oh, I would say 5-6 years at that point.
So it takes you to
I got in a bunch of trouble. I got in trouble many times in my life. I hit Crime Stoppers here in town. I got in trouble in Kansas. I got in trouble in Oklahoma. You name it. But the easy part about all that fraud is you can always pay it back, right? If you don't spend all of your money, you can always pay it back. And typically the prosecutors will go a little easy. And I'm not saying I'm a smart man, but I was smart enough to know this, you're not going to get caught for every case. So when the shit finally hit the fan, I had 7 felony warrants out in 3 different states, and I had gotten in trouble with the attorney general at the time. He was hot on my case. He assisted in my prosecution. He assisted in my manhunt. And they brought me down. There was a little town up in northern Missouri that I was very good about dodging jail. Like I would stay in jail for a little bit, but I could always get out. And I can remember going up there, and I'd already made a deal with the county, and they convinced me to come up there and do some fingerprinting. And I told my attorney at the time, I'm like, I don't want to go up there. It's not going to end well. Well, it's just fingerprinting because you didn't go through their system. I'm like, this doesn't sound right. So I go up there, and as soon as that little door slammed shut, I was like, this is not good. And it was a sheriff that had to be this tall, and he had the world's longest mustache and a cowboy hat. And he looked at me and started laughing. He said, "We got you here. Kansas is coming to get you. Might as well get dressed." So I stayed up there for a while, and then I went to Kansas, and they had me on no bond over there. I had a family member who I love with every ounce of my being testify against me or turn state's evidence, and he listed me as the king of the gypsies. So the prosecutor over there said, "We let Mr. Rickey out. He'll never be back." Well, king of the gypsies. There's no such thing. And so I was sitting over there for a long time, which Crawford County Jail is not bad. It's wide open. It wasn't bad. It's one of those moments in your life where you go, I could do this. It's not that bad. And my daughter was born in 2002. And I believe that they got me in 2003, which I was already struggling with everything. And my wife come over there to see me. And she lifted my little daughter up, who could not come in there, could not reach past the glass. And she was crying so heavily, she wanted her father, that it was at that moment that I changed. That was it. I was done then. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to get out of that, but that was it. The look on my child's face, that was it. That was the end of Eric Rickey's criminal career.
So are you like 25, 26?
Yep. 26 years old. And I left there. I got out. I had a lot of restitution to pay. I think they put me on 7 years probation, and I already had 7 in Missouri, and I had $40,000 or $50,000 in restitution to pay there, and then I agreed to $40,000 or $50,000 in restitution in Kansas, and I come home, and we were living over on Iron Gates. We had a huge storm, and it was the biggest hail that I'd ever seen in my life. And I was just laying there drunk, not knowing what to do with myself. And I decided to go down to, what was the pool hall that was down the road, Matt? The big one.
Missouri Breaks?
Missouri Break. No, it wasn't Missouri Break. Maybe it was.
J-Town?
It was J-Town. And I saw a buddy of mine's father down there, and he's like, "Hey, you want a job?" And I was like, "Absolutely. I'm looking for something to do. What do you got?" Both of us shit ass drunk, just sitting there. And I'm like, "What do you got? What are you talking about?" And he said, "I'm running wastewater for this place over here. Why don't you come and work for me? You can get your life together. Everything will be great." Like, absolutely. He said, "I'll get you an interview tomorrow." I said, "Okay." Played the rest of the evening. Next day he calls. He says, "Hey, she'll see you at 3:00. I said, "Be there." I went back to J-Town, got drunk again. And he called me that evening and said, "Shame on you." And he read me my pedigree. And it hurt my feelings so bad that I'd let the man down because he had spoke for me, that I told him, I said, "Make another interview and I'll go. I'll go. I give you my word." And he said, "Okay, we'll do it." Well, it was like 3 days later. And I really didn't want to do it again because I was hard drunk when I made this second commitment, but I did.
What was your reluctance to doing it? Just having to try to fit in the real world?
Didn't know what to do.
Right.
Didn't know what to do. And I went to that interview and the woman loved me. And I worked with her for a very long time after that. But she told me in that interview, she said, "I'm going to hire you and you're going to do this job." She said, "But you're not going to make it. This is not going to be a very good thing for me." And they hired me at under $10 an hour to work in the wastewater plant on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and every other Sunday, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. I mean, when you're coming off of this high that I've got, that's what I'm doing. And literally working in shit. Like, that was really rough time. And my first month on that job, they decided to pave the road out in front of 32nd Street all the way out through there. So that was brand new asphalt. And I would sit out there and smell those road crews going at night and know, because asphalt, and
It's your world.
that's my world.
100%.
And I don't know, still to this day, what kept me past the first month. I still don't know how I made it because all I wanted to do was go home. Now I'm making $10 an hour, let's call it. And my restitution is way more than $10 an hour for the rest of my life, right? So I couldn't even pay my bills with it, let alone stay there. And I'll never fully understand what kept me there. I don't give a lot of glory to God, but maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Because I have no explanation to it other than that I wanted to make my wife proud and my daughter proud of me. Just by being home and not being in so much trouble.
Where's this wastewater treatment plant?
It's on the backside of the manufacturing plant of the pet food ingredient plant.
Okay, so is it part of that facility?
Yes, it's part of that facility.
Okay. Yeah, when I was reading your bio, I was like, it seems like it was the same place.
It is the same place.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You're treating the runoff from the pet food ingredients, which is raw chicken.
Gotcha. So you start there in the wastewater treatment,
Yep.
making less than $10 an hour,
Right.
owing more than that in restitution.
Yeah.
Owing like 100-something K in restitution.
Yeah. In the early 2000s, which was a lot of money.
Gee, man,
Yeah.
Christmas, dude. What would that be like today? I mean,
A lot.
a lot. Yeah. Okay, so how long are you working in wastewater?
I worked in wastewater for 6 months on nights.
There's that motor of his. Just
Yeah. And I read a lot of books while I did it. Wanted to learn more about it. And so I started learning. And Tim, the guy who brought me over there, after 6 months, they were building a bigger facility to handle all the runoff.
Now, why did you want to learn more about it? Was there a mindset shift that had started in you at that point? Like, if I'm going to fucking do this, I'm going to be really good at it, or?
Well, I think we're all that way. And everything that I've ever done in my life, I've always wanted to be the best at.
Okay.
So I've always wanted to be better. When me and you played basketball, I wanted to be better than you.
Right.
You saw that then.
Yep.
I've felt it my entire life. And no matter what I've done, I've always wanted to know why I'm doing it. I wanted to know.
I don't think everybody's built that way. I think some people are built that way.
I
And
agree
whether
with
you were
that.
raised gypsy or country boy or whatever, you have a family that instilled work ethic in you. Be it for good or for bad, your family instilled work ethic, because there's some people that we work with on a daily basis that don't care if they're the best. That I just see out. And you were a boss, you know it. There's not people that show up that always want it every day.
Yeah. I always wanted to be the best. And I wanted to know what I was talking about. Now, that time was challenging for me at the very first, because people would ask me questions and I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And wastewater treatment is not like anything else. Like it's a complex thing. So you have to know what you're doing, other than Tim telling me, hey, Eric, do this. Hey, here's how we run a bench test. Here's how we clear this water up. And the minute that I saw that shit water turn clear, I was hooked. It's like he was a magician. How'd you do that? Show me how we did that. And then I looked at all the pumps and motors and everything that runs this, and I'm like, well, why? So I wanted to know everything there was to know about it. And after 6 months of learning and progressing, Tim decided to leave as we're building this new wastewater plant. So I kind of went on with the next guy, which we put in huge tanks to where I didn't have to work nights anymore. And there was 4 wastewater operators, and the 3 of the other 2 had worked there for 2 years, knowing their business. And one of them had started like 6 months before me. And when they chose to keep 2 operators, I was one of the 2 chosen out of the 4, even though I was the low man on the totem pole, just because of what I showed and I impressed. So then I went to days at that point in time.
So this didn't come from just a desire to like get promoted and make more money necessarily. That was a byproduct of a curious mind.
It was
and
a
wanting
curious
to be the
mind,
best.
and
Competitive drive.
I didn't know that the wastewater department would be cut down. I didn't even know that I was going to be moved to days, and that you no longer had to run it 24/7. That they put it in these tanks, and then everything that I'd learned at that point changed, because now you're holding water instead of treating it on the fly. You're going into bacterial treatment, which we're not getting into all this stuff, but the process had changed.
So you'd learned one process and now you have to learn another.
I did, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but they put the confidence in me to learn that process. And so I started as one of 2 people. And when Tim left, which he went to treat the oil fields in Texas, and he never thought, this was 6 months after I started, he never thought I'd be there again. He thought I would leave right behind him and hopefully, continue to be a good boy like I was being. And he was gone and I was left there and didn't know the process again. Had to learn a new process.
And how's life at this point?
Challenging.
Are things starting to settle down, or are they starting to get better at home, or, just personally, I guess?
Personally, things were better, but I still drink. I still go to the bar. I still fight. Still running around. If buddies want to go, like, yeah, let's go. We'll get this on. And every time we went, it ended in a fight.
So you're settled into being Joe Lunchbucket at this point.
Pretty much.
But
Yeah.
still like to go to the bar and raise a little hell. So you're still
Absolutely.
a hell raiser.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So when does that start to turn around a little bit for you?
It was years later, really.
So what's your progression at the plant then?
The plant escalated. So I worked there 15 years. And when we built that new wastewater facility, it took me 1 year from there. I chose to go to Crowder College to learn some classes on wastewater treatment. And that's where I learned biological and nutrient removal and all kinds of cool stuff in wastewater treatment that nobody cares about. And I really enjoyed it. And then at the end of it, I became a lead in the wastewater department. I was ordering the chemicals. I was doing all this stuff. Pay got a little better. Still shit, but it got a little better. And I knew that there was no way for me to improve my pay without going into manufacturing. So the plant manager had left, and I approached the new plant manager about doing something different, and he asked me if I'd like to be a supervisor. And I was like, absolutely. Now I was an absolute hellion, and I think the reason he wanted me is because no matter what the other supervisors did, and now I'm still low man on the totem pole, like I would get in their asses. I would tell them how it is, and he liked that from me. So when he took over the role, he wanted to give me a supervisor job. And the old plant manager who moved up to eventually become the CEO, he's like, absolutely not. This guy doesn't even know what we do on the manufacturing floor. He's completely uneducated. He cannot be a supervisor. So he gave me a job in the control room, which paid me a lot of money. And when I got in that control room, things in my life changed. I went back to night shift, which was very challenging for my wife and I, but the pay got better. And I fell in love with how machinery runs. Fell in love with it. I loved it. It was, I love machinery, the way it talks to one another, the way that you have to push it. It's man and machine, right? It's fantastic. So I read every manual. I worked night shift, read every manual, learned every machine, and I pushed the production numbers way beyond their capabilities, way beyond what any machine engineer said that they could do. Now, some of it was cheating. I'm not a dummy.
You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I cheated, but I pushed it, and I pushed it hard. Then I got a supervisor job, and the new plant manager that took over is one of my favorite human beings of all time. His name is Mike Livingston. I'll love him till my dying breath. He took me under his wing, and he knew I was a handful. He knew I was a handful because I didn't back down from anybody. I don't care if you're the CEO, the owner of the company. If I thought I was right, I'd tell you. And he let me do what I wanted to do. Now, he might have scolded me behind closed doors, but whatever I wanted to do as a supervisor, I did it. I walked through it. And then he promoted me to this job, to that job, to that job. Before I knew it, I was traveling to other plants to show them how to increase productivity. And then I made the operations manager. And that was it.
Running the whole facility.
Running the whole facility.
Quite a turnaround in life.
Quite a turnaround in life. And there was a lot in between there.
You're not a blue-collar dude anymore at that point.
I still was.
But you still were. We've talked about that.
Yeah. I still went down on the floor. And
those are the best bosses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't say, there's a lot of people that wouldn't say that I was a good boss because, that I would come down and run your machine for you and let you go get an extra smoke break or whatever, which a lot of those people respected. But if you didn't do your part, I was the kind of boss that would tell another hard individual, it's time for him to go. It's time to move him out. Or I would target you with a random drug test, which backfired on me more than once. Like trying to target somebody, didn't get them, got, oh, Joe. But I would do whatever it took. If I thought you had my back, I had your back 100%. If you were wishy-washy, I didn't need you. And so there's still a lot of people out there, and some of those supervisors I climbed over, I didn't do it very politely. I didn't do it the nice way. I scratched and clawed just like my entire life has been.
Yeah.
How long did you run the plant?
I don't remember. I don't remember how long that lasted before I finally said, I don't want to do this anymore. But I worked at the plant for a total of 15 years. And a lot of things good happened in my life during that time. I was able to find some inner peace. I was able to learn to definitely spend time with my family and grow. My daughter started playing softball. I started coaching her softball. At first, I didn't like the way the coaches were coaching it, so I took over and created our own team. And then I led us to, I think, a 52-14 record one year. I mean, I literally traveled them all over and pushed them hard. We won as 16 and under, we took third in the state 18 and under bracket and first in nationals. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And you weren't a sports guy.
I was athletic when I was young.
No,
I just didn't get
athletic,
to play.
but you didn't like play. You know,
I didn't get to play
right
because of
life.
where I came from, like my aunt and uncle. I was very good at basketball. I was very good at
Well, God, he was
baseball. I was very fast.
busy working, trying to pay for stuff.
Yeah, he wasn't out. Like,
Yeah.
You weren't playing on a travel ball team. Is my
No.
point?
No,
Or like playing
no,
ball
no.
for the high school.
I
Like,
didn't even know if they had those then.
Right. So, I guess my point is like, you know, from a coaching perspective, had you ever been coached beyond like PE class?
Not really. I mean, the coaches took an interest in me. I had, and this is what leads me back to my love for writing. So you remember Coach Lloyd and Coach Starkweather in high school?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they always wanted me to play on the football team and the basketball team.
Yep.
My grades were never good enough.
Right.
So, but I had 2 gym classes. I had one in the morning, first hour. I had one in first hour, and that was weight training, and then I had one later in the day. Well, when I got sent to TLC, which is the Transitional Learning Center, I had to sit in a box, and all your teachers assign you stuff. Well, Coach Lloyd and Coach Starkweather thought it was funny to make me write essays on different subjects, and they would just sit like the shithills they are and come up with different ideas. And so I would have to write a 10 or 20 page essay on it because they were disappointed in me for always getting in trouble. And so I would have to be creative with it. And I really enjoyed sitting and writing, and they enjoyed reading what I wrote.
So they're more or less trying to fuck with you, like in a funny way, sort of.
Trying to be mean to me. Yeah.
Trying to be mean or just
Yeah.
trying to poke at you a little bit, like kind of playfully.
Probably poke, but honestly, I think that they thought I was stupid.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
And then they start reading some of the stuff you're throwing down on paper and probably figure out that you're not.
They were very impressed with it, yeah.
Really? So what kind of stuff were you writing about?
Everything.
Really?
Everything.
So I guess that's a good
I did a
segue.
lot of time in TLC.
Yeah, the fact that you knew what it stood for, like, was I had no idea. Like, I was like, "That's what that stood for."
There was
I learned something.
One
tonight.
point, the big guy over TLC, he just to give me a break from in there, he took me to go pay bills, his own personal bills. He just put me in his car and was like, "You need to get out for a little bit."
Jiminy Christmas. So you're running the plant,
Yep.
and you do that for a while. You spend a total of 15 years at the plant.
Yep.
Life is settled down now,
It's settled down. We own our home. Everything. Life is good.
making some real money,
Making some real money.
real honest money.
Yep.
You got the restitution paid back at this point.
Restitution was paid back very early on.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're raising a daughter, running around on a travel softball team that you put together, coaching it.
Yep.
You're dadding it up.
Dadding it up. Loving life.
Life is good, finally.
Life is good.
And somewheres along the way, you decide, I'm going to go buy this fucking pizza place.
That's an easy one. And it's
Are
still
we
kinda
missing
funny.
anything? Is there anything important to talk about, between?
We're missing a million things, but we can't be here all evening. Now. We have to progress this story. I've done
Right.
anything and everything that a person can think.
Right.
I've done it. But it was 2020, and my daughter was working at the sub shop because I always thought it was smart to have your kid know the value of $1 and to work for it, right? So she's working at the sub shop, and she comes home and she gets out of the shower and she walks in, she looks at her mother, and she said, "Hey, I can't smell my shampoo." So we go get tested for COVID the very next day, and it was very early on in the COVID pandemic, and they put us off work for, I think, 14 days or whatever it was, both me and my wife, and we got steroid shots. So we were feeling shitty. We didn't feel very good, but they gave us steroid shots, so we had that energy. And all I could do was every day call my sister, and she'd bring me over a case of beer, and I would sit out in the back and drink this beer. And I would Facebook, and I showed my wife. I said, "Hey, they're selling this restaurant over here. I think I'm gonna buy it." She said, you ain't going to buy that. So I sent him a message, made him an offer, and he said, I'll take it. Like,
That's how that happened.
that's how that happened. I was sitting in the backyard around a campfire after drinking probably somewhere along the lines of 600 beers in a few days. I bought Wildfire Pizza.
Really?
I bought
in the middle of a pandemic.
Fired Up in the middle of a pandemic.
Right.
I'm not very smart. Not very smart.
Why?
Always liked to cook, and I wanted to own a restaurant. Now, I still worked at the plant at this point.
Yeah, you did that for a while.
Yeah, I did both for a while.
So what was the thought process there? Like, I just like to cook, so I'm going to
Yeah.
buy this place and see what happens?
Yeah.
Which isn't your mentality. It wasn't, I mean, you didn't go into that half-ass.
No.
Right? Like, you had a plan.
I had a plan. Day one, we shut it down. We cleaned every square inch of it. And on the way back from Sam's to go buy all the cleaning chemicals, I stopped and I got my wife a book, Bartender for Dummies. And then I bought one on wood-fired pizza recipes. I'd never cooked a pizza. I don't even like pizza. Do you know this?
No.
Yes, I do not like
How do you
pizza.
not like pizza?
I don't eat pizza.
Wow. Okay.
Now, I make good pizza.
You made a
don't I?
remarkable pizza. It was the best pizza around. It was legitimately the best pizza place around at that
I
point.
mean, I ate there while you owned it, so yes, it was good pizza.
Thank you. Thank you.
So this was more of like I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around this. So you buy a restaurant that serves a product that you don't even fucking like.
Yeah,
That would be like me buying a sushi restaurant. Like, it just makes no sense.
it makes no sense. But I bought a 80-hour-a-week hobby
Yeah.
while I ran a manufacturing plant.
Yeah, while you're full-time employed trying to run a manufacturing plant.
a hobby that revolved around something that you didn't even like, though.
Yes.
But it made money. You know what I've found out about this guy? He really likes making money.
Well, here's the other thing. That place wasn't making any fucking money when he bought it.
Also,
not.
yes, I know some of the other previous owners, and it was a shithole that was losing money.
It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
But we did it, and we pulled it out of the dirt. Now, this was probably... Now, my wife has honestly left me a number of times in my life. But that was the hardest time of our life. Year 2 of that, I got so invested in that restaurant. Once I left the plant, year 2, I didn't leave that place. I was there long before it opened and long after it closed. And I drank, and she hated it. I never spent any time with her that wasn't inside that restaurant. And me and her had a bickering match every day. Fights. We had fights in that kitchen. It was awful. Well, we had sold. I made the decision to sell our house in Orinoco when the market was high, and then there was nowhere else to go. So I rented a place from my buddy Kyle over in downtown Joplin, which, at this point in our life, we shouldn't be going back to downtown Joplin. We had crackheads right across the street. So, I mean, which I was never there to see it. So,
But she
I put her in a
felt like it
rental
was-
Didn't
home.
phase you at all.
No, it didn't bother me. And like I get home, they'd still be raking leaves at midnight. And I'm like, hey, what are you
Hard
doing?
working son of a gun.
Put
Just
them
trying to
work-
beautify the neighborhood,
Put them to work over here at a pizza place.
You want a job? And of course, they never want a job.
No.
So the missus isn't real happy with what feels like a step back in life at that point, moving to a rental house in Joplin.
I don't know that she felt it was a step back, but my wife has always been after peace. She grows her own garden. She does these. I mean, Shelly is a person of peace. All she wants to do is get up in the morning, drink her coffee, look at the birds, just live life without any chaos in it whatsoever. And over here, she's got the Tasmanian devil who will
Yeah,
not
you guys
stop.
are polar opposites.
Polar opposites. Polar opposites. She's the most lovely person you ever meet. Great person. Soft-spoken. Hell, I don't know that her and Matt have said 3 words to one
We've
another.
never had a conversation, but spent quite a bit of time around each other at the restaurant because I used to go in there all the time.
Shy, just shy as can be, where I don't even know what shy means. Never have.
I can say, being fairly adept at body language, she spent a lot of time in that restaurant and not happy.
Yeah.
She was not happy.
Yeah, she was not very happy about it. And then, of course, I let my weight get away from me because you're eating at the wrong hours. I'm not sleeping.
Eating
You're
pizza.
pizza. My worst thing was Taco Bell.
Oh yeah, right next door.
Right next door. Hit Taco Bell on the way to that rental place, and I had a dog, which I'd take her taco too. Like, I love Molly. She died very young because Eric was feeding her tacos for the 3 years. But I would eat it every night, and I'm telling you, I got shit ass drunk every single night. Every night while I owned a restaurant. Every night. Whether I was cooking pizzas myself or working out on the floor, every night. And I would sit there because I had people wanting me to franchise it. Mm-hmm. I had people wanting me to move over to other places. And, I grew that restaurant by a lot. And we did a very, very good job with it, even though it was a struggle. It was a dogfight to get it done. And nothing should ever be in there again. If they ever sell, which God, I hope they make it, no restaurant should go back in there because it's been a restaurant too many times, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's just a struggle you're beating a dead horse with it, but we did it. Mm-hmm. We were very successful with it.
And you seemed like you were having fun with it up until you weren't there towards the end.
Up until it got to the point where my wife was wanting to leave me.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't stop. I couldn't say, okay, hey, you run this and let me take off for the day. It's impossible in those places if you're a guy like me, because it's a cash business, and Lord knows, with tips, they give them one free drink to escalate their tips by $1. Yeah. I get it, but as a small business owner, I feel that, and every other small business owner does. But I was so tight on that, like, you're not going to give a free drink away on my watch.
You're not giving my money away so you can make more.
You're not doing it. So I stayed, and I wouldn't stop, and I just drank and kept watch and worked. And then a couple heart attacks happened. That was it.
While you were working, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Happened at the Longhorn Bar after.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
After you sold, or after you had closed for the night and went to the bar?
After it closed for the night, we were with some friends. And we went to the Longhorn Bar, and I'd already told my wife 2 or 3 times, and I'd been feeling shitty for a good solid week. And I told her, I'm like, man, I really don't want to go. She's like, well, let's go home. I'm like, no, I told him I'd go. So we were sitting there, and I don't remember what happened. I don't remember the sensation I had, but I tried to run out the door, and I passed out outside the door. And they called the ambulance, and the ambulance came, which, of course, when I came to, I refused to go with the hospital, which Shelly was very mad at me over that. And we went home, and I told her, I swore, I said, well, if I don't feel better in a few days, I'll go to the hospital. I'll go to the doctor, which I didn't have a doctor at the time. I wasn't taking care of myself at all. Like 4 days went by, and I just felt like absolute dog shit. And I called her. I said, fine, I'll go over here to the clinic. And so I just locked the door on my own restaurant, walked over to the clinic, and the woman said, you either go to the hospital right now or I'm calling an ambulance. And I went, and I was having another heart attack then.
Really?
Yeah. And near stroke level.
So that's fun.
That's fun.
So that was what led to the time to sell the restaurant.
It's time to sell the restaurant. Yeah. And I got it. I felt it. I felt my own health at that point. Mm-hmm. And there's something that goes through you when you're looking at death, because, we don't even think about that stuff. Like dying, it's just not an option. And then when you standing there with cardiologists, everybody telling you, hey, you're fucked. Like, it's time to change this, and this, and you're not going to do very well. And it weighed on me so heavily, and I thought, man, what have you accomplished in your life? You've done nothing. You've done absolutely nothing. So I sold the restaurant, and Shelly made me take time off and was like, you're not doing anything. You need to sit still. Let's get this health under control, And I sit there for like 2 days and I was like, man, I ain't done nothing with my life. My daughter has always been a big reader. So I was like, let me write a book. Let me leave something to my daughter and her grandchildren to remember me by. I'm going to die here very soon. So I want to leave them something to remember me by. And I wrote my first book. And it happened to be on a subject that she does not give two shits about, which is bootlegging in 1920.
How did that?
Is that The Beautiful Crazy?
It's Beautiful
Okay.
Crazy. Yeah.
How did that come out as your first book as a gift to your daughter? Because, like you said, it's not anything she cares about or necessary.
I didn't go into it wanting to cater to what her specific genre was. I wanted to go into it with, here's my story that I came up with. You read it and tell me what you think.
Gotcha.
So you don't want to write like a Twilight vampire book?
That's her stuff.
Right, yeah. So I'm saying you didn't want to write one of those.
I didn't, but I'm writing one now.
Okay.
Not necessarily Twilight. It's way different and way darker.
Shocked that darker comes out of you.
So what was that process like?
Fantastic. I loved every minute of it. I got to be creative. I got to get in the characters. And throughout the whole process, I was actually doing things to improve my health. I got a doctor. I got a personal care doctor. I went to my cardiologist visits like they told me to. I did everything I was supposed to do. I didn't stop smoking. I cut back on the salt a little bit, but I really like salt. I started exercising. And I just wrote. And I enjoyed the process so much.
What about it?
The creativity, letting my mind go. And it took me back to when I was a kid, honestly. All those hard times of laying in bed, not knowing what your life is, being so hurt, and just letting your mind go, where you're wandering on a dragon one day, or you're playing professional basketball for this team. They've called you up when you're like 14 years old, which could never happen. But we all have those thoughts when we're kids, being creative. And that was my escape from my childhood, is just sitting and coming up with different stories. Well, one time I might be invisible, and what would you see if you were invisible, Eric? So I would walk myself through those things.
Was this a place where, you've already come to a place where in life where life had started to be more peaceful for you, right?
Yeah.
It started to get a little bit more chaotic again with the restaurant, just stressful.
It was very stressful. Anybody that goes to a personal owned restaurant, always try to shop local, because that is the hardest business. And I've done a lot of stuff in my life. That is a very, very difficult business to run. People hate to see you succeed, and people in the restaurant, they always want something for free. So that person that's behind the scenes, they're working their asses off to provide for you, to provide a meal for you, and they want to do a good job,
right?
Believe it or not. Now, some of their employees may not be able to do a good job, but they want to do a good job as far as ownership.
So you get out of that, and now you have taken a little time off, and you're writing a book, and you're loving that. And I pictured it being like a cathartic thing, like really peaceful, to just sit and wander off in your mind into, wander off in the woods in your mind, wherever it goes, and putting it on paper. And I guess that's kind of what you described. Like,
yeah,
what would you see if you were invisible, or the story about, if you got called up, to the big leagues when you're 14, and
yeah.
Your imagination takes you, and you just follow, and
you go with it, and you get down into the characters that you're writing. I followed in Beautiful Crazy, I followed the life of a absolute insane 14-year-old boy. Well, there's a reason that I wrote that in there. I was a 14-year-old boy that was absolutely insane. It was very easy for me. It was natural, and that's where that story went. And I never let it there. It went organically. I never mapped that book out. From the very moment that I typed the first word, I never mapped any of that story out. Now that I can redo that story now after knowing what I know, and make it maybe 100 times better, or make it 100 times worse. I really don't know. I'll always love that story because I just sit down at a shitty little desk with my brand new computer that I went and bought from Best Buy, to write me a book. And it was great.
And that was what came out.
That's what came out. And from them, there was not one character that I even mapped out, not in the slightest.
The main character, the 14-year-old boy, I can't remember his name. Kieran. When I started reading the book, I called you or texted you or something, and I was like, this is you when you were a kid. Like, I mean, you remember this conversation, I'm sure. Like, the way you described him, I was like, that's what, or at least that's what I thought. I thought you were, like, intentionally pulling from your life in how you described him. So, you write Beautiful Crazy.
Yep.
And you send me a copy of it.
Yeah, I did.
And you get it on Amazon and other places, I assume.
Yeah. There's a few other places.
And you're selling books.
I'm selling a few, yeah.
Yeah. So now you're like officially a published author.
I'm officially a published independent author, which is for shit. Doesn't matter.
Just because anybody could do it technically?
Anybody
or like,
can do it,
okay, so how's that different from, I guess what wouldn't be shit?
I think your work speaks for itself if it's shit or not shit.
Right.
And no publishing company has been beating down my door, so it's not that good.
Dude, I thought it was excellent.
Yeah,
like, to
most
read
people
it,
do.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
That's a whole different animal is getting your name out there. And I haven't reached out to any agents. I haven't reached out to any publishing companies. I do it all myself.
Right.
But it's very challenging to get your book out there. There's 2.3 million books written per year, so getting someone to notice your book, that's hard. That's
Disappear in the weeds.
Hey, there's just a ton of podcasts out there too, so it's just kind of
Just got to keep going.
you just gotta
keep
pushing
going
through it.
Yep.
Are you doing the Amazon there? It's like print to publish, so as
Yep.
soon as they do it, man,
Yep.
I watched a deal about how they print those books.
It's crazy, isn't it?
So crazy.
It's crazy.
That they can print it, bind it, and then right behind it's the next book, and it's just done on demand.
It's insane.
Really?
Yep.
So what was your second book?
My second book was Incredible Lies of Lester Peabody, which I'd opened an antique store right after Beautiful Crazy. And I had it for 3 or 4 months and went to a golf tournament and then ended up getting sick again. And Shelley made me sit down again, so I wrote Incredible Lies of Lester Peabody, which is, I can't say that it's better than any of the other ones, but I really enjoyed it because I put some of my buddies in it and my old boss, and I enjoyed the story.
What was the inspiration for that book?
Nothing. I don't really have any inspiration for any of my books. That one was a medical mystery just because I wanted to write something different. And I wanted to write about something I didn't know about. And I've never worked in the medical field. Now, one of the editors who looked it over for me did make me take out one of my favorite points because it had to be, since I wrote a medical mystery, which I looked up a lot of information, but she made me take it out because I had the doctor come in and hit him with a needle when he was getting unruly, and she said that they don't do that anymore, which I thought it was a great scene. I really wanted that in there. So when Lester Peabody
It's my
gets
story.
upset,
Leave me alone, editor lady.
yeah, when he gets upset at the very beginning, he's supposed to be hitting the needle in the neck with a needle of sedative and just fall down. But I had to rewrite that.
Interesting.
It would have been a much cooler story.
So from there, you wrote another one?
I did. I wrote A Bird's Eye View about the assault of a transgender teenager set on multiple perspectives.
This was one that came out of left field to me when I read about this.
Comes out of left field for everyone.
Yeah, it's not. It didn't fit.
It doesn't fit. It still doesn't fit. But I love the story. It's a good story. It's a good telling. If anyone will give it a chance to hear it out, which most of my...
It comes out of left field again, more or less, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And when I looked into that stuff, it's a very sad world we live in, where you're judged so harshly for your beliefs, and you no longer get punched in the face because you're mouthy. You get punched in the face because people think they can. I don't like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So we have gone from I don't want to say like the lowest of lows. I mean, like, life's been a roller coaster.
It's been rough, yeah.
Childhood was
Like we can draw this out on a timeline. So he had a decent childhood, growing up rough, and then mom and dad tragedy hits.
Yep.
Life gets really shitty, really dark, even darker than anyone would expect. And then you live that for a while.
Yeah.
Have a kiddo, end up in jail.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah. And then pull yourself up by your bootstraps and make something happen.
Right.
Take a literally shitty job, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and you're the best guy that you can be there, to running a plant, to saying, let's sit in the middle of a pandemic and let's go buy a pizza store.
yeah.
Right? And then making that really successful. And then you're like, nah, screw it. I'm done with this. It's made my life rough. I'm going to go write books because I had a heart attack.
Yep.
It is a roller coaster ride.
It is. It is.
Did your wife ever think she married like a bipolar somebody?
Oh, yeah, yeah. She's got all kinds of terms for me.
Some of them are not medical terms.
They are not medical terms.
Well, what are you doing now?
Now I just finished up my 4th book, and a third of the way through my 5th book, which they're tied together. They're a duology, so you won't see the 4th book for a little while, and it's going to be my biggest book. But in the meantime, I decided that I do want to stick around this earth for a little while, so I opened a bookstore. And I know it's kind of like opening a pizza joint in the middle of a pandemic. When you open a bookstore, which I got to charge $30 for a book when Amazon will sell it to you for $20, I'm the guy that says, hey, come and buy my $30 book when you can get it over here for $20. So I've opened, I would say that we are seeing some success in the bookstore. Everyone loves it. I think it's the most beautiful bookstore I've ever seen in my life. I know there are prettier ones, but this one is fantastic.
What enjoyment are you getting out of the bookstore? It seems like it would be this is the way I kind of picture you. Like, and obviously we're not hanging out barbecuing together every weekend, but also I know like damn well, like if I called you and was like, Eric, I need help, like you'd be one that would show up.
Yeah.
Like you're a good friend. And the way I picture you, and maybe I'm completely wrong about this after this conversation, maybe I realize that maybe peace isn't exactly what you search for. But just with your life being what it's has been, and us getting a little older, I mean, we're crowding 50. Like at some point, like slow down, smell the roses, and have some peace in your life, right?
Yeah.
Seems like owning a bookstore would be a pretty peaceful thing. Like, doesn't seem like a real chaotic environment. So what's owning the bookstore brought to you? Like whole new fucking levels of stress.
Whole new levels of stress. And here, again, so everything that's in the bookstore, I bought and paid for. I have no loans outstanding. Every dollar in inventory, I paid for it. Every book you see on them shelves, it's my book. Like I've already bought it. So I have no stress as far as overhead. So my strategy for increasing the inventory and doing all that, I work it myself. I have one girl that helps me for 2 hours on Saturday. Otherwise, it's Eric 7 days a week. And I swore I wouldn't do this. I swore to my wife I wouldn't do it again. But instead of paying somebody to help me, I choose to put that money back in inventory. And so I'm just working to try to make it go. Every ounce of social media that everyone says they love, I do all of that. I don't hire anybody to do that. I do it myself, and I write while I'm in there. Now, I will say, I do find a lot of peace inside that place. Just being around books, reading books, talking books, I find a lot of peace in it.
Peaceful crowd coming in, I assume.
They are the best customers. They're different. And who doesn't like a good book? And who doesn't want to talk about a book they've read?
Correct.
And that's the greatest thing about books, because if somebody has read the book that you've read, you've found somebody to talk to about it, right? But if somebody hasn't, guess what? You've still found somebody to talk to about it if you want to tell them, hey, this book was great. Let me tell you about it.
Yeah.
And that's the magic of books. You can always discuss books.
I would love to say that I am a reader, but I'm an audiobooker.
Yeah. It's a real thing, though.
Yeah. And then my wife, on the other hand, she loves to read, and she's a voracious reader, and she goes through them. She reads sometimes. Before the baby was here, it was a book a week, a book every other week.
Yeah.
Loves to read, but it just never has clicked with me. But maybe it's something I need to pick up.
I think you'll find that it's very relaxing. Even if you only allow yourself to do it for 20, 30 minutes a day, you'll find that 20 or 30 minutes will ease you for the rest of the evening, because you let your mind wander and you start hitting that creative aspect where you're starting to think on things. Because most of the time with this, we forget that we were created to wander this earth and try to figure out how to do things, and so your mind is always wandering. Well, now we're just focused on our day-to-day lives, and we don't do all that stuff anymore.
Yeah.
If you read a book, it just kind of flows naturally.
So I am not and I'm being very selfish and stealing some of your time. I'm not okay. I feel like I'm creative in general. I love to build stuff. I might half-ass build it, not patch, sheetrock or something. But like, I love to build stuff and make stuff. This table, little things like that, I thoroughly enjoy it. So my weekends, I get to build stuff, do projects. During the week, I can't be creative. Our job is not creative. It's very black and white. This is the facts. This is what I do. I'm very jealous of my wife because she's creative. That's literally what she does all day, every day. So she gets to see something from zero to the end and be creative. And I think that's something that a lot of people miss, like you kind of said.
Absolutely.
In our life, we're so focused on how to get from point A to point B as quick and efficient and everything as possible, manufacturing jobs, whatever it is, that we miss out on the finer points of life, being able to create and watch what we can make in our mind or with our hands.
You don't get to see the completion of your project.
No.
So a home builder gets to see a piece of land, and then he gets to see a home at the end.
Mm-hmm.
A book writer gets to see a piece of paper and then a book at the end. Police, it's never ending.
No.
Manufacturing work, it's never ending.
Right.
Like tomorrow when you go back into your job, it's going to be the same thing. There's going to be another case, something else. You never get to see, well, this is the fruits of my labor.
Yeah.
And you need to find something that you see that in. And whether it's finishing this thing out, making small improvements, you get to see it at the end of the day. And that, I guarantee you find reward in nailing one piece of slat on this.
100%.
It's because you can see the fruits of your labor.
Yep.
Where we typically can't.
Yep.
So I have one question, and I think this one, after you answer it, I think Trent will probably wrap things up with the kind of the final question we always ask. But you've got, like, we've hit on every, tons of different angles of your life. Like, you've endured a lot of things. You've accomplished a lot of things. You've gained a lot of wisdom. You've suffered a lot. What would 46-year-old Eric look back and tell 12 or 15-year-old Eric?
It'll be all right. If I could have got some peace in my life when I was young, I probably wouldn't have hit things so hard throughout my life, because I never thought it was going to be okay.
God, dude, it gave me goosebumps. Like how fast you came back with it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Covered, like I got goosebumps on my forehead. I didn't know that was a thing.
A few simple words, but and it's different feeling it than hearing it, because somebody can say it to you that doesn't mean it, and you'll know. But if I could look at myself, I would understand.
Right?
You're gonna be fine. You'll be fine. Relax just a little bit. Enjoy the ride, and it would have changed things a lot. But I never felt my entire life like everything was going to be okay.
So that gives me one more question. What would you tell somebody that's going through it?
It'll be all right. You have to calm yourself down, and you have to set your sights on what you want to do. I don't care if it's providing enough for a family dinner on Saturday or if it's something 10 years down the road, but you better set a goal, and you better figure out what it is that you want. If you want it, go make it happen. Nothing can stop you if you stand up. Every time somebody knocks you down, all you have to do is stand back up. Every time life has pushed me down, I just stood up. And I stood up with my chest pushed out. Try that again. It doesn't matter. You can accomplish anything you want.
That describes you to a T. The way
It's
I've
the truth.
known you. Yeah. The way I've known you. That's 100% you. I love it. Trent?
Yeah, I mean, so our signature question is very much like, what has kept you? So from a kid, you've always had a work ethic. You've always taken care of your family. You've always pushed to be the best. Like, what has been that internal motivator for you? Like, what is it? Is it something your parents instilled in you, or do you even have a way to tell you, like, why do you still wake up and do it every single day?
I do it every single day now because of my wife and daughter. Everything I've done as far as turning my life around, because that's where my hard work paid off. Like, had my wife left and not given me a daughter, or even stripped my daughter from me when I was young, every bit of work ethic that I'm in, that I have now, would have been funneled in the wrong direction, because that's the life that I led then, and God knows where that fella would have went.
Yeah.
I would have been underneath the jailhouse somewhere, probably serving life and no possibility of parole. And I would have done very well at that too.
Yeah.
I have no doubts. Because I'll push myself to the limit for anything. Thank God I had a woman in my life and a child who wanted me to turn and go the other way. Who not only wanted me, guided me, gave me enough love that I wanted to do it too.
That's cool. So do you think you found your passion with the bookstore and writing and stuff?
100%. I'll probably go broke with the bookstore and maybe have to caddy on the weekends, which I'm terrible at golf. I don't know how I'll make that work. But it makes me happy. I love it. I do. And I may never find success as a writer, but just writing my stories and having one person read it, it's enough for me. It's enough for me. And I can say that as a guy who's been greedy in his life. And just one reader is enough for me. And I don't need money anymore. I don't care about money.
That's a really cool swing of things that to watch your life has come through. You went from when I was young, money was easy to get. I could get as much as I wanted to and spend it just as crazy as it came in. And now you're been there, done there, had that, and said it doesn't make you happy.
Does not.
So many times we get caught up in life, and I see me being a little bit younger than you guys. My friends chasing money. And, man, I wouldn't give anything in the world. I'd give all the money in the world to spend an extra few minutes with my boy now.
Yep.
It's crazy how that stuff changes you. So
Great.
that's awesome, man. That's a wonderful perspective to end this on. So let's plug all your stuff. So you've got Beautiful Crazy, The Incredible Lies of Lester Peabody, A Bird's Eye View.
Yep.
And then the new one coming out is Legion of
Abaddon.
The
first one is The Sleeping Sickness.
Okay.
It's a peach.
And then the second, or the fifth, your fifth book coming out.
It's untitled.
Okay.
But it is The Legion of Abaddon, but the second title,
Okay.
it's untitled right.
When's book number 4 going to drop?
Hopefully around Halloween.
Okay. Halloween.
It is dark. It's dark.
And then the fifth one would be out the following year?
Probably.
Okay. If people want to come see you 7 days a week, you're at 29 South Main Street?
29 South Main. I close on Monday, so don't come up there on Monday. I do business on Monday till 2 o'clock, and then at 2 o'clock I start drinking, so don't call me after 2. But I still work on Mondays, even though I'm closed.
Okay.
Just not after 2. And then I'm going to cook my wife something to eat.
Okay. Anything else you want to plug?
Nope, that's it for me.
I'm going to have to go look at your social media and see how.
It's doing well. We're doing good. Yeah, they seem to like me in front of the camera. I don't know why.
You put a podcast on there for them to listen to you on now.
100%. Absolutely, man. All right. Well, we'll get all your stuff out there. Thanks so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciated it.
All right.